And moving now to Congress. Congress is in the middle of a recess until after the presidential elections play out. But when they come back, they have a laundry list of issues to deal with. And how to deal with sequestration, the Farms Bill, what to do with Bush-era tax breaks. Those are just a few of the issues that they do have to deal with. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Perhaps the more pressing issue is cyber legislation, or at least that's what Defense Secretary Leon Panetta would have you believe. He says that the U.S. is in a pre-9/11 scenario. So is this situation really as dire as Panetta would have you believe, or is it not? And why isn't anybody doing about it if it is as dire as Leon Panetta says? Well, RT Web producer Andrew Blake joins me now to discuss this. Hi there, Andrew. Now, before we came in here and we're talking, you had mentioned that the Democrats are supporting it, the Republicans are supporting it, the president is supporting it. Why isn't it passed yet if everybody supports it?
It's dangerous. It's very dangerous. Everyone supports cyber legislation. It seems like practically everyone goes, okay, we should be concerned, we're going to be attacked, we should do something. But government doesn't really know exactly how to handle it because there's so many like ifs, ands, and buts involved that the whole thing is looking to be just too much for anyone to handle. Like when Congress started going over it and they proposed CISPA earlier this year, it would have been great for cybersecurity prevention. It would have been great to prevent attacks from foreign nations. However, it also would have been terrible for anyone who actually valued their privacy. And the fact that it created such a major backlash, like on the internet and even across the world, people were going, "How, American, can you really do this? This is not a good idea." You know, it ended up passing, but the Senate and the House, they couldn't agree on any sort of cybersecurity to do. The White House has said we have an executive order. We're going to put it out there when it's time. And now we have Panetta. You know, he graduated. It went from a pre-cyber Pearl Harbor to a pre-cyber 9/11. So we've elevated that level of catastrophe that was imminent at this point. So no, at this point it is imminent, and the reason is because we're already doing it. We've been engaged in a cyber war, and it's incredibly obvious. But it's such like, I don't even want to call it a shadow war because everyone knows we're doing it. There's been Stuxnet, there's been Flame, there's been computer experts from all over the world saying, hey, it looks like America did this, and they sent it to Iran, and they tried to screw up everything there. It looks like they did it with Israel. It looks like they'll do it again. It looks like they are doing it again. It's been happening over and over and over again, and everyone's aware of it, it seems, except the White House. In fact, when it came out in the New York Times that Obama had said, let's keep this, it's called the Olympic Games program. It started under President Bush, and just wage a cyber war in Iran. And Obama said, yeah, let's keep doing that. And when the Times went ahead and posted about it, Congress kind of flipped out and said, hey, we can't be leaking out this kind of information. You know, people are gonna know, wait, America's already attacking. You know, it's gonna come back and haunt us, and there's gonna be copycat attacks. But like, yeah, obviously, like, how many years can we keep just trying to attack the infrastructure of other countries for our own benefit before they turn it around and do it to us? So it's great that Panetta is actually saying, hey, it's time, because at this point, it seems like it would just be right around the corner that we're going to be hit. And at that point, probably Obama will slide out that cybersecurity legislation, the executive order that's been rumored. And when that happens, we'll just have to accept it because it's an executive order and there's really not that much we can do. And of course, by that point, it'll probably be already way more advanced and scary and terrifying, and then we're just going to lose all of our computer rights.
And Andrew, you just brought up a bunch of points, but I do want to take a step back and break them down just a little bit. So one of the things you brought up, as we said, Leon Panetta said that this is a pre-9/11 kind of scenario that we're in. After 9/11 happened, of course, we saw the Department of Homeland Security build up. And we're also sort of starting to see this rhetoric, or we have been seeing this rhetoric over the past month and 2 weeks about the Libya situation, the Libya attack, and them saying, we did know about this before. Why didn't we do anything about this? Why didn't we do anything? There's been documentaries about 9/11. Like, why didn't we do anything about it? So my question to you is, if they're saying that this is a situation, they're saying that this is a huge deal for us, for our national security, why aren't we doing anything about it, like I said before?
We will. It's just, it's going to have to wait for them to, it'll come down to either someone striking us and we're going to have to, kind of like 9/11, you know, that worked out great for all of our civil liberties, excuse me. It's Friday, wrong? So no, it will happen. Sooner or later, we'll get hit and we'll have to push out some sort of incredibly terrifying Orwellian legislation that's going to make sure the government can watch everything that you can do on a computer, all for the sake of cybersecurity. We'll just have to sacrifice all of our personal freedoms in the meantime. So no, it will happen. But also keep in mind, like think about it. Let's go back to post 9/11 and what happened then. Everything was rushed at the time. They went and said, okay, we need to do this. We need to share intelligence. We need to make sure people over here know what's happening with people over there. And we have on Monday, like in 3 days from now, the Supreme Court is going to have to go back and look at the Foreign Intelligence Security Act. Is that right? FISA?
Mm-hmm.
The Foreign Intelligence Security Act. The FISA amendments from 2008, which pretty much says that the government can go ahead and watch anything that you do as long as it's being sent to anyone else anywhere in the world, anything on a phone, anything on a computer. And it's been now 4 years since that's been on the books. It was kind of drafted after 9/11, took a few years for them to push it. But since then, we've been stuck with this legislation that ensures that the NSA can monitor whatever you do for any reason at all, and you don't ever have to find out about it. It's been nearly 5 years now, and on Monday they're finally going to go ahead and look at that and say, oh, maybe we shouldn't have let this happen. So if something does get rushed, it's going to be dangerous. So it's kind of a godsend that it's taken this long, but I guess we can only just wait and see.
And Andrew, I mean, what we have right now is, or on the other hand, I guess what we have is a potential economic incentive. We could start a technological boom with cybersecurity that could potentially help our economy, that could help our national security. So there's ways for the government and the private entities to work together that both ensures privacy but also ensures American safety. Is there not?
Oh, no, absolutely. And that's already happening. If you go outside of D.C., if you go outside the Beltway, there's already so many people who are contracted out by the Pentagon to do things involving cybersecurity. And that's how they make millions and billions of dollars. So it's already happening. It could be really, really good for our economy, but it's really going to have to come down to finding a way to balance security and liberty and your own personal protections with the sake of the country's national security. Will that actually be done efficiently and in a way that everyone's going to be happy? Probably not. I would say absolutely not. That's never going to happen. But it would be wishful thinking.
And quickly, Andrew, is there any way that to avoid an Orwellian situation where everybody thinks it's 1984, but find that really fine line where there's security and also privacy?
No, probably not. No.
You're just not going to make them happy?
Nah,
No?
screw it. No, we're all screwed. Sorry.
Well, we know Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid said he wants to take another shot at passing the cyber legislation coming up in November. Mm-hmm. We'll see if that happens in this lame duck session. But for now, thank you so much, RT web producer Andrew Blake, for joining us.
Sure. Thanks, Megan.